Someone lied to you today, and you believed them again. Not with a weapon, not with force, with words, just words. A promise, an excuse, an explanation. That's all it took to disarm you. And while you were listening, they were moving, quietly, against you. You were not losing because you were weak. You were losing because you were trusting the wrong currency. Words are free. Anyone can say anything. Costs them nothing. Costs you everything. Every person who has ever walked over you did it with language first. They studied your responses, they mapped your triggers, and they fed you exactly what you needed to hear. You thought you were having a conversation. You were being operated. And the worst part? They knew you would forgive the words too, because you always do. This stops today. Not because someone told you, because you finally see it. You came here looking for something. What you're about to find is a different way of seeing entirely. Not comfortable knowledge, real knowledge, the kind they don't want you carrying. Because a man who stops trusting words and starts reading actions, that man cannot be manipulated. And a man who cannot be manipulated is a man they cannot stop. Stay with me. This is going to rewire something permanent in you. Because what Machiavelli knew, what the powerful have always known, is that words are theater. The script is written before you walk in the room. Your role has already been assigned. Unless you know the game, unless you stop listening to what they say and start watching what they do. This is where it starts, right now, with you deciding you are done being played. Let's be honest about something first. You are not naive. You are not stupid. You were raised to believe that words mean something, that people say what they mean, that a handshake is a contract, that I promise carries weight, that sincerity is common. That was your programming, and it cost you, in relationships, in business, in your own self-respect. And you have probably spent years thinking you were the problem, that you were too sensitive, too trusting. You were not the problem. You were the target. Those are completely different things. There are people and systems specifically designed to exploit men who lead with honesty. Your openness was not a flaw. It was a resource they found and extracted. They knew that if they said the right thing, you would lower the gate every time. And they were never punished for it, because in a world that rewards results, the method doesn't matter. You have been playing by a rule book that only you were following. They wrote different rules for themselves. While you were busy being good, they were busy being effective. This is not about becoming cruel. This is about becoming clear. Clarity about what people show you versus what they tell you. That gap, that is where the truth lives. And Machiavelli, a man who lived in a world of daggers and diplomatic smiles, he mapped that gap 5 centuries ago. He watched princes fall, he watched enemies rise, and he asked one question no one else dared to ask. Not what should men do, but what do men actually do? That distinction changed everything. He saw that the world punishes idealists and rewards the men who understand human nature as it is, not as it should be. And the core of his observation was this: watch the hand, not the mouth. Always. Before we go further, this knowledge is for protection, not destruction. Remember that. The man who sees clearly does not need to hurt anyone. He simply stops being hurt. That is the upgrade. From victim to witness, from passenger to strategist. Machiavelli is your guide for this. Not a saint, not a villain, a surgeon with a scalpel made of truth. Let him show you what no one else was willing to say to your face. Are you ready to stop being the most honest man in a dishonest room? Then let's begin. These are the lessons Machiavelli left in ink. Read them like orders. Each one is a shift in how you see, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Your old way of reading people ends here. Your new way starts now. No more charity for words. Every word is now a proposal waiting for proof. Machiavelli, Florence, 1513, a man who saw through every mask the world has ever worn. Niccolo Machiavelli was not a monster. He was a mirror. He served the Florentine Republic. He watched it destroyed by men who smiled while they stabbed. He was imprisoned, tortured, and in that darkness, he wrote The Prince, not as a manual for tyrants, as a map of reality for men who refused to be destroyed by it. He watched powerful men rise and fall, and he identified the one thing that destroyed them every time: misplaced faith in words. Allies who pledged loyalty and vanished when the wolves arrived. Rulers who believed agreements and were buried by them. He was not bitter about this. He was precise. He wrote it down so men would stop dying for a lie. And the most important thing he ever wrote, the sentence that applies to your life right now, is this: everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. That is the battlefield you have been fighting blind. They perform. You evaluate the performance as if it were the person. That is the exact error that costs you. Not your fault for being human, completely your responsibility to correct. Machiavelli spent his life watching the gap between what men said and what men did, and he built a lens from it. That lens is what you are holding now. Let's put it to use. 8 lessons, each one a lock being broken, each one a piece of your new operating system. Write this down somewhere, not on your phone, somewhere you will see it every day. Watch what they do, let what they say become irrelevant. That is the operating principle for everything that follows. Comfortable? Good. Now get uncomfortable. What you're about to see is going to be hard to argue with, because Machiavelli is not giving you opinions, he is giving you observations, and observations do not care about your feelings. Ready? Let's build the man they cannot play. Lesson 1 begins now. Lesson 1. Actions are the only currency that cannot be counterfeited. Someone told you they loved you and then disappeared. Someone said, "I've got you," and left when it cost them something. The words were real. The feeling behind them was real. The action, or lack thereof, was the truth. This is why you cannot hate them for what they said, only for what they failed to do. And more importantly, this is why you must stop judging people by what they say about themselves. Watch the pattern, not the promise. A person's history of behavior is their actual character reference. Machiavelli saw princes lose everything by believing in verbal loyalty. Their downfall was always the same. They measured words instead of watching feet. Where do people put their time, their money, their energy? That is who and what they actually love. Start there, not with what they tell you they prioritize, with where their feet actually go. Starting today, give every new person in your life a 90-day evaluation. Watch. Do not judge on what they say in day 1. Judge on what their actions show you in month 3. By then, the mask always slips. This does not make you cold, it makes you expensive, hard to fool, worth keeping. The men who are hardest to manipulate are the ones who make you prove your intentions with behavior, not rhetoric. Be that man. Drop this in the comments right now. I judge by actions. Words are just an application. Lesson 2. Silence is information. Lesson 2. What people do not say is louder than what they do. You have been trained to interpret silence as neutral. Silence is never neutral. Silence is a choice. When someone does not correct a false rumor about you, they chose that silence. It told you something exact. When someone does not show up when it mattered, their absence was a message. Read it. Machiavelli was a diplomat. He learned to read the room not from what was said in the meeting, but from what was avoided. The topic no one mentions tells you exactly where the power is being protected. In your relationships, the things left unsaid are the real contract, more binding than anything spoken. Your practice: in every important conversation, note what was avoided. Ask yourself, why did they not go near that? And listen for the speed of the redirect. The faster they change the subject, the more important the subject was. What they rush past in conversation is what they're protecting. That is your real intelligence. A man who reads silence is impossible to deceive completely. They cannot hide from you anymore. They will still try, but you will feel the gap, the word that was not said, the moment that was skipped over on. And the moment you feel it, do not speak, file it.
Let them think they got away with it. Your information is your advantage. Never reveal how much you already know. Lesson 2 complete. You are now a reader of what is not said. That changes everything about every room you enter. Lesson 3. Consistency over time is the only proof. Lesson 3. One good act means nothing. A pattern of good acts means everything. Anyone can be generous once. Anyone can be honest when honesty costs them nothing. The test is, what do they do when it's inconvenient, when it costs them, when no one is watching? That is the real character test, not the Sunday version, the Tuesday at 11 p.m. version. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the men who act the same in public and private. Those men cannot be exposed. They have no mask to remove. Your practice for the next 30 days.